Hi, this is Boulevard Broken, and this is going to be a tutorial for the module Critters. Really liked this module when I saw it, but I didn't need it explained to me, so I thought I might explain it to you so you can do it. Maybe put it on some bombs or something, because it's a neat little module. So anyways, what you'll be presented with is a grid that's either blue, pink, or yellow. Um, I have colorblind mode on for y'all, but this top button is a reset button, this right button is a submit button, and you can press on any of the cells. And what you have to do is, according to the rules at the bottom left, you can see you iterate the grid that way and then submit it. So the way the iterations are based on is, for example, in Game of Life, your iterations are based on 8 tiles around each tile. Kind of surroundedness, or that's not a word, but you get what I'm saying. For this, all iterations are based on 2x2 grids. So each kind of group is iterated separately, and the way it's iterated and the way you make the rules is based on what grid you're using. Now, for all three of the rules, all three of the colors, you'll need both grids. You'll be using both grids. So in the top right, I have shown what the main grid looks like. In the top left, I have shown what the alternate grid looks like. So the main grid is going to be the 2x2 squares divided into a 4x4 grid, starting with top left 2x2 and going across. It's as simple as can be. And then the alternate grid is, I think of it like you start in the middle with your 2x2 grid and you go outward radially. Oh my god, excuse me, I'm so sorry. But so you have your middle 2x2 grid, and then you have the 8 grids around it, and then you have the grids around that, and they do wrap around. So I think the most important thing to realize about the alternate grid up there is the top 4 corners are all one 2x2 grid. And in fact, when I do the alternate grid, I iterate those first just so I can remember. I'll go in a kind of weird reading order, if that makes sense. But yeah, I drew them out with the blue lines in between the grids just to show what they actually look like. But you can remember them based off of like top left 2x2 going reading, and then middle 2x2 and going outward. Okay, so now that we've done that, what are we actually doing here? So we look at the color and we follow the rules in the bottom left. It's actually pretty simple. So these numbers, the 0, 1, or 4, 2, 3, those are how many on tiles there are in that 2x2 grid. So if we look at our first 2x2 grid here, there are 3 on tiles because we read at the bottom of the yellow rule, we say iterate once with the main set. So we're starting with the main set in the top right. So we're going to our first set of tiles in the main set. And we have 3 on tiles, so we're going to go to the 3 rule. Rotate the group 180 degrees and toggle the state of each cell. Well, the way you would rotate a group of 3 180 degrees is by moving the empty cell to the other side. So that would go there. That has been rotated 180 degrees. Now, we need to toggle the state of each cell, so we're just going to press all of them. And we've done the 3 rule. Next is a 1, this main. So we're going to go to the 1 rule, toggle the state of each cell in the group. So we're just going to do that. We've done the 1 rule. Then up next is this 2. It says keep the group as is, so we're not even going to touch it. And you're just going to go through each, within this yellow rule, we're going to go through each set, each 2x2 grid in the main set with these rules. 3 is going to be that. then 2 stay still, 2 stay still. That's a 1, so toggle everything. Still. We rotate and then toggle everything. Stay still. 2, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so now we've done our first iteration. We've iterated once with the main set that we see in the top right. So now we have to iterate once with the alternate set, which is in the top left. And we use the same rules that we used earlier. It's still the yellow rule. Even though pink says the word alternate, that's just the alternate rules. Oh, excuse me again. The alternate rules, but not necessarily for the alternate set. You always use the rule for the colors. So we're on the yellow rules, but we're using the alternate set. So let's start with the 4 corners, because that's what I like to do so I don't forget. Our 4 corners is 2 off and 2 on, so we keep them the same. So I'm just not going to touch them. Next, I'm going to start with these 2 up here and these 2 down here. Because it does wrap around, I'm going to start with the very top, which also happens to be the very bottom because it wraps around. But this reading order it helps me out. It helps me keep track of where I am. If you don't go in reading order or an order that you think about beforehand, it can get pretty confusing. So we did, since there were 2, we don't touch the corners. This is 0, so we're going to toggle all of them on. This is 4 up there and down here. That's 4, so we're going to toggle all of those. 1 is toggle all. And then now we start, where I start, you can choose wherever, but where I start is here, and this also wraps around to here. If you look in the alternate set in the top left, the left wraps around to the right. So now I'm starting here. We have 1, so 3, rotate it, and then press all. 3 is rotate it, press all. 1 is press all. And now I'm just going to keep going like that. And I'm not doing these 2 because I already did it with these first 2. So this would be 1, 2, 3. Touch, touch, touch. Okay, so now I'm not touching this bottom row because I already did it with this top row. So we've iterated once with the main set with the yellow rules. We've iterated once with the alternate set with the yellow rules. So let's submit. We got it right. So now that I went over that one, I'm now just going to go quickly over the other colors, just for completion's sake. You should get it from this, but it would be bad practice of me not to. So let's go over a pink right now. So pink says alternate, but we do still start with a main set. It is just that the color rules are alternate. So we're going to keep 0, 1, or 4 as is, toggle the state of everything if it's a 2, and rotate if it's a 3. Now we don't rotate and toggle everything, we are just rotating 180 if it's a 3. So let's start. Main set, 0, 1, or, okay, so that's a 2, toggle everything. 3 is rotate, rotate, 3 is rotate. And after a while, you actually get pretty fast with it. And if you remember the rules, or if you ask your expert nicely for the rules, it does make for a nice solo or assisted solo. And it's pretty fluid once you get it, so I like them all. Okay, so we've iterated once with the main set. Now let's do it with the alternate. All 4 are on, so 1 is toggle. Okay, that should be good. Yep. And then finally blue, just for completion's sake. This one has pretty similar color rules to yellow, but the difference with blue is that you iterate with the alternate set first, and then with the main set. Kind of just do everything in reverse order, I guess. But, so let's get it. 3 is toggle everything. There's a lot of toggle everything. Oh, I guess the same thing in yellow. But anyways, so we have 1 on. That's rotate 180 and then toggle everything. And for the rotate 180 and then toggle, I find it easier to do them separately. You could theoretically do it in one fell swoop and only press 2 buttons, but I find it very easy to get lost that way. So, anyways, let's continue. Yeah, that was 1. Yeah, okay. I'm going a little crazy here. Okay, so we did the alternate, now I'll just do the main. One. Row is I'm solved. Okay, well, that should be it. Thanks for watching, and do this module. It's fun. Bye.